Man, I am super excited to have you in the studio, Joe. Welcome to the Morning Cast. For those that don't know, we have a great nonprofit in town called Teton Adaptive Sports. And Joe Stone is the new Director of Mission. Welcome to the morning show. I want to talk a little bit about, well, first of all, what is Teton Adaptive Sports? And then I want to get into what is your role.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. It's great to be on here to be able to share a little bit about what we do. Teton Adaptive is here for outdoor recreation for people with disabilities. So the main goal is really whatever everybody else is out there doing, we want that to be offered for people with disabilities as well. And so we're trying to build that in a way that's very inclusive.
Is this physical, mental, both, any kind of disability?
Yeah, across the board, we don't say no to anybody. So if you need some help getting out, needing special equipment, needing somebody's support to be able to get out there and try to learn, whether it's biking, riding hand cycles, foot pedal trikes, getting on the snow, number of other different activities.
And you bring up a good point. Teton Adaptive Sports has both summer and winter programs. And you and I were chatting. And for those that maybe grew up without a disability and then something happened, versus maybe somebody that was born with a disability that might not know anything differently, there's still that desire to be doing things that everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Especially outside.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think there's a lot of similarities. I mean, for myself personally, I acquired a disability through speed flying about 10 years ago.
And we're going to get to that in a second.
Yeah, and so I come from the perspective of being able-bodied in the earlier part of my life and then becoming injured and having to rediscover life and figure things out. I can't necessarily speak for people that were born with disabilities, but from the people I know, it's the same game. They just want to get out and they want to play and they want to enjoy the outdoors and they want to find that quality of life that we're all searching for.
So you mentioned the word inclusion. Tell us, everybody's body is not equal, but that doesn't mean that you can't be included in any sport outside.
Absolutely. I mean, the difference in what it takes is just a little bit of extra assistance maybe in the equipment that we use. So inclusion, what it really means is building an environment that works for everybody. It's kind of the same idea for universal design for a building. If you can build it in a way that works for people with disabilities and wheelchairs can get in and out, then all of a sudden now everybody has access to that. And so what we are trying to do is build that in outdoor recreation and give other partners that we work with the opportunity to be able to serve people with and without disabilities.
And you bring up a partner, the word partner, and before we get to what Director of Mission is, one of your partners, and you were very influential in the development of an event, unfortunately that had to be canceled this summer, but it was, it's been going on for a couple of years, and you were instrumental in getting this event underway, right?
Yeah, so I was pretty lucky to be invited to the Idaho Rendezvous over at Targhee back in 2013. And so I partnered up with Teton Adaptive. They came to basically support me. I was the first adaptive mountain biker to be on the mountain. So I have a trike that's hand pedaled, and we started testing trails, what would work and not work in that area. And we left from that weekend from the Idaho Rendezvous and said, this works, we should invite other people. And Teton Adaptive, the best part about that was they said, we want to support you, and however whatever your vision is for creating this event, we're here for you. And that's grown to the point to where it's actually turned into the largest adaptive mountain biking gathering in the world. In the last few years, we've had about 35 athletes with disabilities show up every year to recreate with everybody, the other 600 athletes that are out there as well.
And are they using the same trails? I mean, I know sort of the answer to this because you and I were chatting that with the success of the adaptive program over at Targhee, other resorts are specifically making trails for those that require the adaptive services.
Well, so there's a really beautiful thing going on right now where people want wider trails anyway. So a lot of the trails are being built with or without accessibility in mind. They're being built in a way that works for everybody. Mm-hmm. So the big flow trails for downhill, like at Jackson Hole Mountain Resort, for example, they're doing a fantastic job of building trails, and we've actually opened almost all of them up to be able to also work for hand cycles. A few pinch points here and there, a few areas to maybe like smooth out, but it already works. I've been riding up there all summer and have been able to do a lot. So bringing awareness to it, though, does matter. And there are certain things like side hills or two trees too close to each other, things like that, where our equipment takes some a little bit more of, I guess, the thinking around how you're building a trail to make sure it works for everybody. But they're using machines that are 42 inches wide or 36 inches wide to cut these trails.
All right, so you're fairly new to the valley, if I'm not mistaken. You've been here a couple of years.
I actually just moved here. I visited quite a bit, but I just moved here 2 months ago.
Well, Teton Adaptive Sports is very lucky to have you. You're an adventurer. You're a filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that can't see us on the radio, you happen to also be sitting in a wheelchair.
Yeah, so, for me, about 10 years ago, I was injured speed flying, and I continued following my passion for outdoor adventure. So to fast forward to today, through a lot of hard work and a lot of organizations like Teton Adaptive supporting me, I still paraglide, I still speed fly, I road bike, I mountain bike, I get on the rivers, I get out and play. I
travel?
I travel a lot.
You're a motivational speaker,
mm-hmm.
And I would imagine somebody that's gone through, I'm guessing when you say speed flying, I don't want to get, relive too many memories, but from what I've read, there's been some not movies, but documentaries and some pieces about you and your accident. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Kevin May at High Flying Productions, him and I teamed up for the first 3 years after my injury and made a documentary called It's Raining, So What, which you can find on Vimeo at this point. And that film follows the first 3 years after my injury through a handful of goals that I was setting, trying to get back to life, which led up to me becoming the first quadriplegic to ever compete in an Ironman triathlon. And that was in November of 2013. So it follows that whole journey.
You're in better shape than I am. I feel like I need to start exercising now. All right, so now we can get to what the director of the mission is. Your mission, and as director, what's the goal?
Yeah, well, I'm really honored to be invited in to be a part of the team and to take on the role of director of mission. And basically my role is to help build partnerships, help with fundraising, help to kind of guide things or steer things in a direction that we want a level of inclusion we want to see in this community and beyond. So being a person that lives with a disability, I'm able to bring that perspective, and especially somebody who's been working with other nonprofits and other for-profit entities around the country, really, that's what I'm trying to bring to the table. And with the help of the rest of the team, we're all collectively trying to make Jackson Hole more inclusive in outdoor recreation.
I have one other quick question. You had a foundation. Now that you have this role, is the Joe Stone Foundation still happening? No.
So the mission to the Joe Stone Foundation really aligns with what Teton Adaptive is. Only Teton Adaptive has more credibility and more backers to be able to make a much bigger impact. So taking on this position, we decided it was, the Joe Stone Foundation ran its course, so we're dissolving that. We're donating the rest of the money that we have in that foundation to Teton Adaptive, and we're just going forward with the mission altogether.
You're an incredible dude, I got to tell you. Teton Adaptive Sports has been going around since 2005, I think. They handle those that are in need in Teton County, Wyoming, and Idaho. Obviously, with Old Bills, you're here to pitch your cause for the donations. What do you do with these donations?
Yeah, well, everything that we do, we wouldn't be able to do without the support of our community around us. So the funding that is raised from Old Bills goes towards gear that we need to be able to help out our partners and ourselves with getting people out. It helps with training our partners, whether that's Jackson Hole Mountain Resort or Rendezvous Water Sports, helping train their employees to be able to assist people with disabilities as well, and also giving out grants and scholarships to individuals that need a little assistance to be able to get out there and go skiing or get out there and get on the river.
Skis are expensive, but when you add a sit ski to the equation or, other adaptive gear, it does put the price tag up quite a bit. And if you don't have those, then it's kind of impossible for you to do your job.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no way around it.
Teton Adaptive Sports. You can find them on the oldbills.org website. check that box, make a donation, year-round programming for those with disabilities, mental, physical, whatever, climbing. They do cycling, cross-country and alpine skiing in the winter, skating, I think, ice hockey. And what about, real quick, volunteers? I guess everybody is always looking for volunteers.
Yeah, give us a call, shoot us an email at info@tetonadaptivesports.com, and, we can get that conversation going. Volunteers are a huge part of what we do.
Google Above the Ground. That's about you, right?
That's a documentary that hasn't been released yet, but the trailer just got put out. I'm featured in it. It's not just about me, but it's all about air sports, so base jumping, skydiving, speed flying, paragliding, that kind of thing. And they brought me in to play a role within that.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Absolutely.
Would you speed fly again?
I still speed fly. So I speed fly and paraglide. I've been paragliding around town here off of Jackson Hole Mountain Resort and some of the other spots, and I got a speed wing as well, so I still get after it. And, my accident happened because of a series of mistakes I made. And so the lesson learned was not to give up on it. It was just to be a smarter pilot. And that's I've had some great mentors to help steer me in the direction I'm going now in that area of my life.
Good for you, young man. I am stoked for you. Joe Stone, new director of mission for Teton Adaptive Sports. Again, winter-summer programs. Look them up. Just type in Teton Adaptive Sports on the internet. Thank you for the shirt as well. You got a new logo. You got a new set of eyes, some new plans, some new ideas. And I couldn't be more happier for you, for Teton Adaptive Sports, and for all the clients that are going to benefit.
Well, thank you so much for having us on, and we really appreciate the support and helping us get the word out there. And obviously, our gratitude goes out to everybody that supports us and allows us to be able to do the work that we're doing. So thank you, everyone out there that's able to help us out in any way.
All right, Joe Stone, check them out. Again, you can make your donations. They'll be matched. You got until Friday at 5 o'clock. oldbills.org to make your donation to Teton Adaptive Sports. Anything else? Wrap up?
That's about it. You covered it all. Thank you, everyone, very, very much, and thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Roll on, my friend. Roll on.
Will do.
All right. Let's break away for CBS News. TNT coming up at 9:30. My thanks again to Joe Stone and Christy Fox as well from Teton Adaptive Sports. Again, don't forget about them. Old Bills. Deadline coming up 5 p.m. Friday. Oldbills.org.
You are tuned into
KMTN, Jackson, Wyoming. 96.9 The Mountain. 96.9 The Mountain.